Hello.
Do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Sure. I'll go first. My name's Robin. I'm at Spicy Miso Ramen. My booktube channel, I mostly focus on science fiction. And today I'm actually going to be working on a science fiction short story.
Nice. My name's Leanne from Dark Roots Creations. My channel's about a lot of different genres. And today I'm going to be working on a short story that's going to be part of a bigger story.
I'm Johara at Secret Books, and I will be working on my Jasmine Perez series.
Nice. How far are you in that now?
Well, I'm over 100 pages. I think I'm at 111, 112.
Nice. Is this book longer than the other ones, or is that about the same length?
The first one, I think, was almost 200 pages. Second one was closer to 400, actually. This one's probably going to be bigger than that one. Yeah, I have no idea how I end up, I don't know how I end up jumping from 100 to 400, but I guess I just have a lot more information to put in.
Yeah, it's just like
more than that now, so this is probably going to end up being like 500.
Wow. You're writing some like epic fantasy over there.
Right.
Apparently.
Mm-hmm. It's funny.
But I just the spell you suggested for them getting angry at each other.
Yeah.
I just put that in. Lilac had just said it and chanted the spell, and then I'm going back to the people at the cottage because last couple chapters I was mostly focusing on Jasmine and Ben and them finding the enchantress, which is their little journey they're on. So I'm catching you up a little bit with what has been going on there, but they're about to feel the spell and start getting mad at each other. So that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And a little bit later, I want to do, like you suggested, like having a magical beast go after them. I want to add that into a little bit later, but I don't know what kind of beast to throw in yet. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
That's cool, though.
Yeah. I want it to be like a beast that isn't usually, like, you don't usually see. It's like a beast that's kind of just in this realm, you know? Like one you never really heard of before.
Well, that's like the great part is you could just make it up anyway.
Yeah, exactly. You want.
Yeah. That's cool.
So you're going to throw in some of your ideas that you thought of today, Lee?
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, where was I going to go with the next part of this? And I was, like, jumping all over the place while I was at work thinking about it. And I'm like, no, I know where I'm going to go with it. And I was just, like, thinking of the ideas. And I'm like, all right, now I got to get home and start writing.
Well, this is what these sprints are for, to get us motivated.
Yeah. And what sucks, because it always happens, like, you know, when you're at, like, well, when I'm at work and it's like, oh, I've got 3 hours left, so I'm just stuck here and I want to get started on this right now, you know? So I'm like, all right, come on.
I totally feel that. It's just like, I want to get home now so I can write this before I lose it, you know?
Right.
I definitely feel that.
Like when you get inspired for something and you're like, I need to do this right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I love that feeling, but at the same time, I hate it because, like, until you can actually get there and do it, it's so annoying. It's like this that nagging feeling that you can't get rid of.
Exactly.
Or I'll have free time finally, and then it's gone.
Right.
You know? So I've had that happen.
That's why when I do have ideas come to me, I try to get it somewhere down. Temporarily at least, just so that I won't forget it, because I know I will if I wait too long. So I have this whole list on my phone of things that I want to happen, and I'm like, so I constantly look back at that as like trying to figure out when I want them to happen and stuff.
Even at work, like I was like voice texting like some ideas to me, and like I could see my coworker looking at me and she's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, just ignore me, it's fine. Like I'm talking to myself. So.
Yeah, the creative process, right?
Well, I also didn't want to shout, oh, I'm not doing work, I'm busy doing my own thing, you know. I'm like,
just feel like I'm working my second job. Don't worry about it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, which she wouldn't care, but you know, my boss is sitting behind me, so I'm like,
yeah.
Just stay quiet.
I hate when people say writing is just a hobby. I mean, it's so much more than that for us, you know?
It's a lot. It's one
like,
tough hobby.
Yeah, it's a career, something we want to see in our lives, you know, especially after you get published, it becomes an actual job because you're technically making money off of it. Even if it's not so much so you can live off yet, I mean, you're technically making money off of it. So it's more than just a hobby at that point.
And people
But even
tending to expect more. They want more. So, you have to do more.
Yeah. Writing is like a part of my soul, and I'm sure you guys feel the same way.
Yeah. And I also think people, if people think it's so easy, go ahead, you try it.
Right? I hate when people say that it's so easy. Anybody can write a book. I'm like, okay, then do it. You think it's so easy to go and try it. You'll find out it's not. Truth is, until you do it, you don't know, you know? You don't realize how difficult it can be.
Yeah, I think that's for a lot of things. Like, until you try it, you know, at a certain level, you don't know.
Yeah, definitely. You want to sprint at 10?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Sounds like we're all ready to go, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up documents right now. Find my spot.
Exactly. And
well, I don't think I've told you guys this yet, but my mom might be having some extra money coming in and stuff, so she actually told me that she wants to be supportive and help me do what I love. So she said that I don't have to keep looking for a job right now until she might actually need the extra money. But I can work on my YouTube channels and try to get more subscribers and stuff, so I can get monetized and make money off that, and then work on promoting my book a lot more to make money off of that, make more money off of that.
That's
and
awesome.
I told her how there's a way to get paid to read books, and I want to look up that because I know some people can do it that way. I just don't know how. Okay. I know some people get paid to read, literally. And I think read and review or something. So I want to look up that, and so.
Nice, that's awesome. Congratulations. That's a wonderful opportunity.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. So I'm going to, she says she wants to be supportive and she knows this is what I love. So I'm going to crack down on my book a little bit more, try to get this one published, and then work on the prequel and get that one published. And then I can concentrate on a new series. The other series that I had started.
The best thing you could do. If she's giving you this chance, the best thing you could do is work on it. Like, show her you were appreciative of that. You know, that's the best way.
I'm going to buy a couple author copies of my books and put them at like local libraries and stuff, and so do stuff like that.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
very cool. That's awesome. That's awesome for your mom too, that she doesn't like have to have money from you, you know. She can relax a little bit too, so that's good for her.
And the roommate I was telling you about, he has to give her money, obviously, to stay there, rent money.
He better be paying rent.
Yeah. And then my dad got Social Security, finally, especially after that car wreck. And, he's still pretty sore, but he is doing better. And his mom is actually doing better. They didn't think she was going to make it, but she's actually doing better now.
Thank goodness.
My dad's going to talk to a lawyer about, the drunk driver and all. But my mom said she knew a guy who had Social Security before, and they gave some money to the government or whoever does Social Security gave the money to his kids too for his child support. So if that's true, then she'll be getting some money because he's getting Social Security as well. So there'll be that extra money as well. So.
Yeah, that was my dad. Never paid child support ever to my mom. Really? And then when he was disabled and he went on Social Security, he got hit with it. He had to pay like all those years back for the three of us.
Wow.
And they didn't count it from when we were younger. Child support was $20 a week for the three of us, and he never paid that. But then and he went so many times to have the judge like take it, like cancel it or whatever. But when the final judge went for Social Security, they're like, what is this? And like jacked up the price that he had to pay for it.
Yeah.
He wound up having to pay more in the end anyway.
Oh my god.
But yeah, you'll still get it with Social Security. You still get hit with it anyway. And we were older, like we were all in our 30s by the time like he finished paying that off. But
yeah, my biological father is paying back child support for me and Fantasia.
Mm-hmm. Listen, my mom had to put the money out. Your mom had to put the money out. Someone should have to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like,
At least my dad is still in mine and my sister's lives. My biological father hasn't been in my life since I was a year old.
Yeah. He's not a father then.
He's not.
No,
I mean, what my mom always says is that someone might be your father or mother, but that does not make them your dad or mom.
Exactly.
Exactly. So, I mean, my dad has raised me since I was like 5-ish years old, so I've always called him dad, and he's always going to be my dad because he is my dad. He raised me.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yeah, so
it's
not always black and white.
Well, that's okay.
You guys want to get, huh?
That's okay, though.
Yeah, definitely. I don't want anything to do with my biological father. It's like, he wasn't there then, I don't need him now. You guys want to go ahead and sprint?
Yep.
Sure.
How long?
Say at least 20 minutes.
Yeah, 20 minutes sounds good. Okay, so that'll be 5:32, right?
Want to just go 5:35?
Let's do 5:35 to make it,
Even.
5:35? Okay.
Yeah, even-ish.
So, even.
I know what you're getting at, though. Yeah.
All right, that sounds good.
Awesome. Okay.
All right.
Happy sprinting.
You too.
Hey.
Hi. Hey,
How do
Tiffany.
you, huh?
I see Tiffany in the chat.
Oh,
Hey.
Tiffany.
Glad you could make it. How did the sprintings go?
I got a decent amount done. I'm actually gonna work on it now.
That's great.
Yeah, I had to do a bit of research to find out where I was, but that's okay. I have a question, opinion. What do you guys think? So,
Yes.
in this part, this is in the eastern half of the United States, but it's not the United States anymore, and it's divided up into different sections.
hmm
Do you think there should be some sort of passport or something that people would need to get from section to section?
Is there governments still?
Each place kind of has its own government, yes.
That's what I kind of assume, because I feel like there's some places that, like, they're probably so loosely held together that they have no way of keeping track of who's there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But maybe for, like, the really bigger settlements or the more stricter settlements, maybe they want some, I don't even know, like, passport, but, like, some sort of, like, identity.
That's what I'm saying, because if they're going on a train right now, but the train would be going through different sections, almost like if we were to be going through different countries.
Right.
Which, if we did go through different countries, we would be stopped in general, depending where, but.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, it depends on how those sections rule and how strict they are.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. All right. I was thinking that, and then I'm like, yeah, I think I'm going to go with that, but I wanted to check. How did yours go, Johara?
Good. Yeah. Ava just came back. Ava was gone for a little bit. She came back and was telling them about this, about what Ben told her earlier in, I think it was the second book. Yeah. Yeah, it would have been the second book. So that might help them find what they're looking for, because they're looking through like records and stuff that Ben keeps, because he's like a genius, and he kind of keeps things that might be useful over the years. He's kind of a bit of a collector, I guess that's what you can say.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're trying to go through everything and see, while Jasmine's gone, they're trying to find some sort of weakness that Lilac might have that could help them in the final battle. So.
Okay. That's cool.
Nice, yeah.
I do like a character like that, like a little collector, somebody that always has something.
Yeah, that's
Like
definitely
everybody has like an uncle like that has like something in their garage or their backyard, you know. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Very cool, very cool.
So, Robin, you said you think you're done?
Oh no, I still got a little more ways to go, but I got quite a bit done, at least in this sprint, so yeah.
Now, where will this short story be going?
I mean, it depends on if it's accepted. I haven't been having very good luck with
I didn't know
submissions.
if you already had somewhere it was going to. Okay.
No, this one is for a queer anthology that I am writing for, and the theme is plants, so I'm writing about plant aliens and kind of going for like a solar punk vibe with it, so
okay.
It's a different genre for me, but I'm enjoying it so far. I don't know if they'll accept it. I've submitted something else some in the past and they didn't like it, so there's no guarantee.
Did you like the plant names I suggested?
I actually, I ended up going with a different name that you suggested. I think it was Forsythia I ended up going with, so.
Yeah, that one was nice.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a plant. There's so many plants that no one even talks about, knows that exist. I'm like, wow, there's a lot more than I realized.
I don't know what that plant looks like, but just the sound of it sounds like really harsh, and like that's kind of like the kind of characterization I was going for this character, so.
Nice.
When I was looking at plants names, and I found out that Jasmine was a plant. I knew Lilac and Rosemary were plants, and that's why I gave my characters those names because you find out that I think you find out in the prequel that their mother had a thing for plants, and those were two of her favorites. That's why she named them. And when I found out that Jasmine was a plant, I was like, "That's funny." It's like they all have plant names, and like you said, Robin, it gives them a connection. And I was like, I didn't even do that on purpose.
Yeah.
I feel like plant names are so good for like witch characters anyway. It just fits the witch theme so well. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I also realized I gave none of these characters last names, and I feel like right now, though, when she's trying to go to this different section and she doesn't have any type of ID, like she's gonna need to say like, well, I'm so and so, like that should be a big deal. But I'm like, oh, I didn't even think about this.
If I can get away with not giving my characters last names, I'll do it because it's like my least favorite thing to do.
I didn't in one section I did because yes, they're very old, traditional, formal like that, and that's like how you would know somebody. In another section, no, I didn't because they don't really care about that. So
I was just about to ask too, like, does she come from a place that would have last names, or would they use some other sort of identifier?
Her family is kind of like the train station is a big deal here because that's how you would transport a lot of stuff. And her family owns that, but they kind of like mafia got it in the old world, and now like. So yes, their name would mean something, especially if she's on the train. So now I have to leave the last name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Jasmine obviously has the last name because the title Jasmine Perez. So that one is like really easy to remember. And I did give some of my other characters last names. I didn't realize, but there was a couple characters I didn't give a last name. Like I was doing those character drawings, and I was writing their first and last name. And then when I came to a couple of them, I was like, "Wait a minute, did I even give this character a last name?" I was like, "Apparently, some of these characters just aren't special enough to have a last name."
Yeah, I wouldn't give to everybody because like not everybody you meet, their first and last name. But yeah, for main people, I guess so. But I just didn't think about it till right now.
Yeah, like. Amara, when you meet her, she was actually working for Lilac technically, but you find out that she was being forced to because Lilac had kidnapped her younger brother, who she's raised for so long because their parents are dead. So she was doing it to so she wouldn't kill her little brother, and So Jasmine met her when she was on Lilac's team, and she was like the head of the army, and she was just like, I'm Amara, and she didn't even care about giving her last name, and I never even thought about it. But in that situation, it wouldn't really make sense to be like, I'm Mara,
Yeah.
It makes more sense to be like, I'm Amara. That's all you get to know.
Yeah.
There you go. Did either of you watch, just thinking about like, because you said like military chick, and that's just making me think of like badass chicks. Did either of you watch Gunpowder Milkshake on Netflix?
I haven't.
You guys should. It's
really
good. It's really good.
I'll have to check it out because I'm like hurting for things to watch.
Yeah, and it's definitely like it's like some Angela Bassett and some like
love her.
The girl who played Nebula in Marvel.
Yeah,
she's like the main character of it. So it was just so good. And there's like, honestly, I have goosebumps right now. There is the most badass library in this movie that I would love to live in. Like,
signs that you're a bookworm.
Right?
You see a library, you're like, I need to live in there.
Yes.
Right.
But if you please watch it, because if you just saw like how cool this library is, like I even was saying to this kid Xander at my job, and I was like, "Oh, did you see this movie?" He's like, "Didn't you love the library?" I was like, "Oh my god, yes!"
You're really selling me on this. So yeah,
it's really good. It's like such like badass chicks, and I mean, it's like a little bit stylized and like.
I love a stylized movie.
300 blood killing Spartacus kind of way, but like it's so good. It's so good.
What's it called again?
Gunpowder Milkshake.
I'll have to check it out.
A weird name, but it was so good. And when I read a book or watch a movie or a TV show that I keep thinking about days later, and that's how I've been with this one. I'm like, I still haven't stopped thinking about it. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Anyway, that was that.
So it's good. So everyone's making a little bit of progress then, huh? Mm-hmm. That's good.
Did you get some writing done today, Leanne, or did you just do research? I'm sorry. I
did just do right now I did get a little bit of writing done.
You did write too.
As I'm going, I planned this story so many years ago that now when I'm going back, I'm like, oh wait, where's this? What is that? How far would this be? So that type of thing.
I feel like a lot of times writing is just constantly asking yourself those questions, even though you do have a plan going in. That's why people who fully outline, I'm like, how don't you still ask yourself those tiny questions, or you don't see those problems until you're actually in that scene sometimes.
Well, I feel for this too, because a lot of my thing is it does, although it's 100 years in the future, it's 150 years in the past as far as technology goes.
Yeah.
So it's kind of I always have to stop. Did they have this? Did they have that? Would you be able to do this? And then how long would it take you to get from here to there if you walked, if you took a train, so because I don't want to just say they were here. Oh, and now they're here. It's you gotta. It's the details,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What happened in this world that kind of brought it to a dystopian? Was there a global, or even just within the United States, or is this something that doesn't get stated in your book?
Yeah, there was a war with Mexico, and Mexico won.
Mm-hmm.
There was Florida, basically, how they're always oh, it's just going to go into the ocean. That happened.
Yeah.
Earthquakes took out a lot of California, the very northeast, Maine and Vermont, they joined Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And when Mexico took over, they basically took over the western half of the United States, giving large chunks of land to Native Americans.
Nice.
And now it's been 100 years, so it's almost nobody knows what's on the other side anymore. So that is sort of a side story of all these girls that are going to get together and be let's go find out what's over there.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
Okay. So it was kind of a couple of things.
Yeah. And then they also put into an EMP went off, and that took out the electricity.
Mm-hmm.
And there was kind of, I guess, along the way technology's bad, so we're not going to go with that anymore. So they signed this tech treaty. And I don't even know if at this point, anywhere else in the world goes along with this. They're sort of we're not part of that anymore, so we don't know.
That was my next question. If the rest of the world is also this altered, or if they're fine and they're just we're not gonna touch the United States. They got their own problems.
Right. Well, that's that's kind of how we're going now. People are stay away.
Interesting.
Yeah, so then in each of the 7 sections, there's different, I said, different forms of government. One is very traditional, one is very all over the place. They do whatever they want. Another one, I said, Delaware is just a whole prison.
Mm-hmm.
So, and just drop the population down by half. So,
right.
Yeah.
Which is things that I had to even think about. In 2017, what was the population, and what divide that, and so that kind of research stuff.
Is your world COVID compliant? Did COVID canonically happen in your universe?
This was before COVID was even a thing.
Because that could be part of it too.
Right. Right.
I had to ask because that is something that makes me curious moving forward if books are actually going to include
acknowledge
that.
it.
Yeah.
I did just read something and that was kind of a part of it. But
I've been reading a lot of recent releases that obviously were put into the publication process a couple years before the pandemic, and so it'll be like, yeah, this takes place in 2020, and like there's like no pandemic happening whatsoever, and I'm like, that aged poorly.
Mm-hmm. That's funny.
Yeah.
Grey's Anatomy put through in COVID. I don't know if you guys watched that show.
What was that again?
Grey's Anatomy.
Oh
no.
yeah, I think I heard that. My sister's a big fan of that show, so it
Yeah, I
was
like that
giving
show,
her
and-
emotions.
Yeah, the season that just ended had COVID as a main thing, and the main character ended up getting COVID and was in and out of consciousness, and she kept seeing people that she loved who was dead, like her husband, her sister, one of her best friends that had died.
Oh wow.
Mhm.
And stuff, but ultimately, and then her dead husband told her that she could it's her choice if she wants to just stay there with them or if she wanted to leave, and she ended up choosing to leave because she had 3 young kids that still need her and stuff.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, but you saying that, like, I wonder if like the Marvel movies will acknowledge that,
Right.
or like they should. They should. But
And I actually prefer when shows don't, because like I watch these shows to get out of the real world. Why
Yeah.
put the real world into these shows?
Right.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, sometimes, especially when I'm reading too, like I don't need a whole agenda. Like I'm just trying to escape to like
Yeah.
a fake or just a fantasy or a nicer place than where I'm at.
Yeah.
So no, I get that. But yeah.
Have you? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, have you guys ever? I'm sure you guys have, but have you guys ever like came up with this idea that you really wanted to include, and it's like, but you can't figure out how to include it?
Yes.
Because this part is kind
Definitely.
of crucial to something that ends up happening, but I can't figure out how to throw it in there. Like, Jasmine ended up, so her ancestor Rosemary, who's Lilac's sister, she talks to her in her dreams sometimes, and she ended up taking Jasmine on this little adventure when she was unconscious at the end of book 2 or beginning of this book. I don't remember, and she told her that she had to she ended up showing her like 2 possible futures. One where Jasmine kills Lilac, where it's everything Jasmine ever wanted, like her life with Jax, where she's queen with her best friends by her side, like everything she wants. And then a life where Lilac didn't kill, or where Jasmine didn't kill Lilac, and it's like the entire world was destroyed, and her best friends are all now dead. But then later on, Jasmine's going to figure out that it was all a fake, because Rosemary did that to get her to decide to kill Lilac, because Jasmine doesn't want to kill, she
Right.
is the person, and she doesn't want to have any blood on her hands, and she wants to find another way. That's part of the reason why they're looking for the Enchantress now. They think that since she's so powerful, as legend says, that she'll have like another way to defeat Lilac without murder, And so she's going to find out that it was all a lie. And Rosemary wants her to kill Lilac, because even though she still cares about her baby sister, she knows that Lilac will never stop, and she has to be defeated once and for all. But I don't know how to have her find out that what Rosemary showed her is fake.
Right.
Like, when does it come up? Rosemary's obviously not gonna tell her.
Right, but I feel like the plot.
Huh?
I feel like that plot needs to happen too.
Yeah.
Like the way you're describing it, it's not like a small detail you could leave out.
Yeah, that has to happen. Like, Jasmine also has this feeling like she can't trust Rosemary. She doesn't know why, but she's ignoring that feeling, even though she probably shouldn't, because she feels like Rosemary's on the same side as her to defeat Lilac and save the world, but Rosemary has an agenda all on her own. And I thought, Lilac could tell her, but why would Jasmine have any reason to believe Lilac, even if it is the truth? So I haven't figured out how she's gonna find out yet.
Is there anyone else around Jasmine that does magic?
uh, Amara and Ava, but I don't know how they would be able to find out either.
Well, what I was thinking is because when you just said the idea about Lilac telling her, I'm kind of like, yeah, she would have every reason to tell her, but Jasmine has no reason to believe her.
Yeah.
But if that kind of got put in her head, or maybe one of the other characters were there when it was said to her, they could kind of like throw like a clarity spell on her to kind of like differentiate what was the truth and what was real, or that it was all like a plan from Rosemary anyway, like a plot on her end.
I like that.
Yeah, just a kind of a way to also, and then that kind of throws like a little twist on Lilac too, like why did she tell her?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, just a thought.
I kind of like that.
Because then that kind of gives a reason why Jasmine would question it. You know, know about it, and then B, question it. So
yeah,
and then maybe something like that.
It's like after Lilac tells her, Jasmine could be like, "I don't believe you" and stuff, but then but then a little bit later be like, "Why am I still thinking about this? There's no way Lilac would tell me the truth, and yet this part is just nagging at her, and she can't figure out why."
Because it would bother any of us if somebody like that hated us told us something. Like you want to be like you're a liar, but it's still gonna stick in your head no matter what. Like you're gonna think about it. So
yeah, and then Jasmine could do like a spell to find out the truth, the truth spell or something. Figure out if it's real or not.
Yeah, maybe something because like if you're saying like she put it in her head, maybe something that like could like tell what was real, what was not, or whatever. Yeah, like however you want to do that part, but I think that would work.
Because if I do that and then Jasmine could be thinking about it and she'll be like, it is a bit coincidental that the future where she kills Lilac is just perfect and everything she wants. Like that's a little far fetched, even though. And then if she doesn't kill Lilac, the world goes to total chaos. I mean, I'm sure it won't get that bad that fast too, you know?
Right.
So it'll have her questioning things until she actually discovers the truth on her own.
Right.
Yeah. I like that. Thanks.
Cool. Yeah, now I'm curious. Like now that you're saying Rosemary is Lilac's sister, I'm like, wait, I have to read this now. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah, Rosemary and Lilac's sister. Plus, Jasmine finds out that Rosemary is actually her ancestor. So it gets a bit.
Yeah. I like those twists, though. You know, like it's like a complicated family type of thing.
Yeah, I love a good twist. You know, as long as I'm pretty sure we were talking about it one day. As long as it like makes sense or something. Because I'm pretty sure we were talking about that one day. Because I have a major twist coming at the end of my at the end of this book, and I'm like really excited to throw it in, but I'm not ready for it yet.
Right.
I'm not there yet, but I just want to go ahead and throw it in there because I'm all excited for it.
Nice. You guys want to sprint again?
Sure.
Yeah.
I feel like we're all like ready to go again. Like,
right. I want to see how far I can get today. So.
How about 20 after?
Sure.
That's cool.
Awesome. All right. Happy sprinting.
You too. Hey.
Hello.
How was these sprints?
Good. Very good.
I think
I'm on a roll right now.
yes. I didn't get as much done this time, but I think I am slowly starting to figure out like what I'm gonna do to get to the end at this point. So that's promising.
That's good. I didn't get as much done this time either. I was they had found Sven the Collector I told you about. He's also big on legends, and in this realm, all legends have like some truths, but they just get like spiraled and they become a lot more than they were, which I think is the truth for anywhere, to be honest. Yeah. But so they were looking through his legends and finally found the legend of Lilac and Rosemary. So Amara is currently reading that, and you get to find out a little bit more about them.
Nice.
Which will also help to jump into the prequel book, which I'm planning. So that's good.
Very good. Your friend is here.
Yeah, I see that. Hi, Lisa. I'm glad you could make it.
Couldn't
Are you working on your book still? Which book are you working on? I don't think she's been working on the Little Red Riding Hood storyline in a while, so she's probably working on the other one.
Okay.
She was doing this like Little Red Riding Hood like retelling story, but then she started working on a different book, and she started getting really into that one.
Nice. Yeah, let us know what you're working on if you're going to be writing today.
So, you think you know how this is going to end now, right?
I think so. Before I kind of was stuck between two different endings that kind of have like the same overall effects, but it would kind of set up, well, like what are the steps to get to this end? And now I kind of see like the direction I need to go in. So yeah, I'm thinking probably, hopefully less than 1,000 words before this thing wraps up. So I'm almost there.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's very much like a home stretch now, so.
Yeah, it feels like it. I've been going through it for a while, but there's a lot of cleaning up I need to do on it. I'm just trying to get it down at this point.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, how is Ryan? Ryan's her son. He's so cute. He's younger than my brother, but he's so much bigger. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I think I remember us talking about how big of a baby he is. Like, that's awesome.
He was like 10
nice, healthy
pounds
kid.
when he gave birth. Like,
oh my gosh, big boy.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know how she could do it. I'm his godmother.
Oh, sweet. Leanne, did you get the writing done this time? Or, I mean, you did some, I mean, did you get more writing done this time?
That's definitely good.
I'm sorry, I got you right when you're fun.
That's okay. Like I had to eat the ice right then. So back when I was doing the first scene and Johari, you were like the part where I put in how they met each other didn't work there. So I kind of added it now at this point when she's like sitting on the train just thinking about stuff. I'm like, oh, this is the perfect point. So I'm going to throw it in here. And then she's just like kind of thinking about things that's seen to kind of like tell her story of like where she's been during this time before she goes back home. So
nice.
Yeah. So because I was like, I didn't want to know how far I wanted to go with the technology of that.
Right.
I'm like, oh, she went to like the savannas in Africa and she saw the pyramids. So like I'm kind of staying around that. Plus I think that works for like if you were on a pirate ship sailing around, like you would kind of go to those places, you know? That's it.
Yeah, where I'm at, Amara's reading the legend of Lilac and Rosemary, which I've already started the prequel book. I didn't know if I told you guys that, but I already started the prequel book a little bit, and I threw in that they had a brother that hasn't been mentioned before, but during this legend, while she's reading the legend, they mentioned the brother And so you do get to find out. So, because at first I didn't know I was going to ever mention the brother in this book. So I thought that you'll just read the prequel and be like, wait, they have a brother since when? But apparently I'm going to throw it in now.
Nice.
But after she reads Legends, when that spell that Lilac casts is going to hit them. And so it's like everything's all good. You know, they're all friendly with each other. Then bam, they're going to act like they hate each other all of a sudden.
Now I have to ask, what's the brother's name going to be? Is it going to be a plant name?
Yes, I looked up plant names and I found one that I've never heard of, but it was kind of intriguing, so I went with it. It's Ilex, I think is how you pronounce it. It's like Ilex.
Okay.
I haven't heard of that, but I want to know what it
What
is.
it looks like, right?
Wait.
Jeez.
Oh, it looks like it's holly, like a type of holly.
Now I have to look at something because I was gonna make a joke, but now I have to see. Okay, so it's funny that it's the holly with the pointy stuff on it, because I was gonna say as a joke you should name him Thorn because the sisters had the flower names, and I'm like, oh, it kind of does have little spikes on it.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That's funny.
But yeah, in the prequel book, you're gonna get into what exactly happened to Rosemary and Lilac to get them to where they were, because you find out that Ilex, the brother, is actually the oldest, so he was supposed to be king, but he ends up dying, and so Rosemary becomes queen because she's the second. And then you find out how Lilac ends up descending into evil, because I like this one line I put down for my story, for the legend. It was it said this is something about the Pierce family, because that's their last name, Pierce. So it's the Pierce family lived a simple life. Elex trained tirelessly to become king. Rosemary being a bit rebellious, and then sweet little innocent Lilac. And I thought I threw that in because she's far from that now.
Right.
The irony, yeah. I love that.
I love that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I forget that was that reminds me one time I was reading, I forget the series, but you're reading from reading from this girl's point of view the whole time in the first book, and you're seeing all these messed up things people are doing to her, and then when you get to the second book, it's from other people's point of view, and you realize that she's the villain, but you've already sided with her because you see how they treated her.
Yeah.
They kind of then you see their side of how they took everything the wrong way or whatever. So I don't know.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So it just kind of makes me think with Lilac, oh, you're gonna get to see how she was before.
Yeah.
And then how she is now, what she was before that.
Yeah.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah, because there's a time in my book, I think it was at the beginning of book 2, Jasmine was talking to Rosemary, and Rosemary showed Jasmine the past and showed her right before Lilac died, or Rosemary died, and because Lilac was the cause of it. And in that scene, Rosemary made a comment, past Rosemary made a comment that Lilac hasn't been the same since that day, but you don't get to find out what that day was. But
right.
In the prequel, you don't even find out till the prequel what happened to Lilac, exactly what's happened to her. And so yeah, that's gonna be fun.
That's gonna torture people because they're gonna want to know what was
right.
that day.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just okay.
But I'm not that cruel. I will eventually tell you.
Right.
You just have to wait a little bit.
Right. Yeah, that was there was this.
Huh?
No, go ahead.
I said I already know what's going to happen. At first when I wrote that scene, I hadn't figured it out. But then when I was writing the prequel, I figured out what I want to happen, what exactly happened to change Lilac forever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now we'll have to wait for that one too.
Yeah.
That's cool though. Very, very cool.
Would you guys ever write a prequel?
I answered a question like that on Twitter yesterday. That I don't have a plan to write a prequel, but if I had to choose a character to write a prequel for, like, there's one character in my main book that her past kind of gets neglected compared to the others because it isn't as relevant to the main plot. So I feel like it would be cool to write from like her in the past when she's like a teenager and she's on a different planet that is essentially like the Las Vegas of space, and she is extremely poor. She doesn't have parents. She's a street kid with like a found family with all the other street kids, and kind of grew up turning tricks and like um, stealing and learning how to be exceptionally resourceful and as well as loyal to her found family, which kind of is how she became the character she is in the book I'm working on now. So I'm like, that sounds like fun. I'm probably not gonna do it, but like that's the only one that I would do it for.
Right. Yeah, no, I think that's like, if you have a story to tell, like it's worth doing it. You know what I mean? Like if like, I think that like if a character's been through so much, but you don't know that at the time, it's nice to like be able to like see how they got there, or because I always like the villains, like to see how they became that way.
Yeah, definitely. I actually never thought about making a prequel before. I never thought I would, but I don't even remember like how I decided I'm gonna make this prequel. I was just like, there's so much that I'll never, because like there's so much going on, especially in this last book, and it's like I don't really have time to delve that much into Lilac and Rosemary's Past, except for the little I've already done. And I just think so much more the audience should know about the villain and her sister and their life before and stuff. So I thought it would be interesting to write a prequel book just to show what happened to them and how they got to where they got to. So
for sure.
Yeah.
I like that, or even like too when like you meet characters and there's a story, and then like maybe like somebody from their family, so like the family members, the prequel too. Like that's well, you'll get that with this one too, because nobody even knows about the brother or any of that. So
yeah,
that's very cool.
What about you, Lee? Would you ever write a prequel?
Maybe. Depending on what it was about. So
do you have a certain character like Robin who you wouldn't mind writing a prequel about?
I think right now, if it was at this point, I would probably write a prequel about how the family got the train station.
Like, that would be cool.
Yeah, which would be just be like during the 2017-ish time of like how they would strong arm and take over. And it's like at a point where like the world is falling apart around them, and like this family is like, no, this is what we're gonna grab for ourselves, and like held on to it. And like I think the interesting part would be that an older woman is the one that like did this and held it together to keep it for her family. So maybe that would happen.
Nice.
I think if it became a thing and like people were like, oh, I would wonder about that, then I would maybe do it.
Yeah.
Although there's nothing wrong with writing for yourself, but like you said, if at some point you're getting paid for it, you kind of got to give people what they want to.
Right.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I don't know. We're quiet now. Should we sprint again?
Sure.
Do one more? Or?
Yeah, I think one more I can do. We'll see how far I get.
How long do you want to go?
You call it, Robin.
Why me?
Put pressure on you. Come on.
I like even numbers, so we'll go to like 6:55, I think. That would be 21 minutes.
Okay.
All right.
55, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Cool. Okay. See you then.
All right.
All right. Happy sprinting. Hello.
Hello.
How were these friends?
Really good.
Yeah, I am so close to getting this done, but I do need help with the name. So when you guys are ready, we gotta talk names.
Okay.
I'm ready when you are.
Well, I want to know how your guys' sprints have gone before we make it about me.
Yeah.
Mine went pretty well. I'm almost done with the legend of Rosemary and Lilac, and it's really this legend, like, it's going to set the entire tone for the prequel. So
Awesome.
I'm completely setting the prequel up with this just one scene, and yeah, so it's coming along nicely.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, mine's definitely coming along. I'm in a little groove right now, so
That's good.
Are you still in the same scene with the train and
she's
the
gotten off
backstory?
the train and she just saw one of her brothers. So
Okay, cool, nice. Does she come from a big family if they all
there's
own the
6 of them all together.
That's like me.
Yeah. That's a big one.
Yeah. So it's 2 girls, triplet boys, 2 girls.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's always fun.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Okay. What's your problem? Come on.
I need another plant name.
Another plant name.
Johara's got you.
Yeah, I'm going with they're all women, so if that helps. And I've mentioned the plant lavender, so I preferably wouldn't name one of my characters lavender. To save from confusion.
I went back to our messages and found where I gave you all those potential plan names.
Yes.
There's Ash, Ainsley, Aspen, Azalea. I kind of like that one. There's Briar, Basil or Basil, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Basil, Balsam, Camellia, Cerise, Trisanta. I have no idea how to say that one. Clementine, Dahlia, Elowen, Flora, Florence. There's a lot of Flora, apparently.
What kind of character is this?
It's like it feels like whenever the character is smaller, it's harder to name them because you don't really know. It's just like a friend character, and she appears very briefly, so she doesn't really have much of a personality set out for her. But I need to do a name drop, so.
I like Dahlia. I like Willow.
Oh, Willow might work.
Because I think like a little girl, like a petite person when I think of that name.
Yeah, she's not a little girl, though. It's the only problem.
Okay. Is she human? Is she alien?
No, they're all aliens.
Okay.
But I'm just going with plant theme anyway. I don't care. I'm not going to make up a language for this world.
How about I have no idea how to say that. Sequoia is like Sequoia. Sounds kind of nice.
I do like sequoia trees. Those are the really big trees.
Yeah.
Like, it's worth it to Google them because they're like insanely huge trees.
Yeah.
Hi, Alyssa. Did you find one you liked?
I don't know. It's like, again, like when it's such a small character and it's like it doesn't matter as much, but yet it's so hard to name them.
Flora.
I don't. What would you say?
Flora.
No.
Calla. Juniper, Petunia.
Juniper's kind of nice.
Ayana, Primrose. I don't like that one. Zinnia. Azalea, that's one Jahara said. Florin. Leilani, which ironically my mom was going to name me.
Oh, that's pretty.
Linden. Marigold. I feel like that's an old lady name.
Yeah.
Kalina. I mean, then you can go Rose, Hyacinth, Daisy, Violet.
Yvette. I didn't know that was a plant name, but apparently it is.
Ooh, that's a pretty name, but is it a plant though, or is it just mean flower?
Yeah, some of them just meant flower that I was just
And
looking
I'm
at.
trying to avoid that, yeah. I think it just means flower. Or wait, if that's flower? I
Bramble,
can't figure out if it is or not.
Bryony. I'm just shouting out names.
Honestly, that's fine. Do it.
Cerise, Chloe.
I didn't know Chloe was a flower or a plant.
I didn't either. It means green shoot, like springtime. Coriander. Cypress. Fern.
Fern I considered, but I'm not
Sylvia.
sure. I think Sylvia's another one that just means, or maybe I'm just making assumptions because I'm like, yeah, that's definitely a person's name.
Ginger. Indigo. Ivy. Juniper.
Yeah, Juniper I'm still considering.
Koru? I don't know. It means loop. It's the shape of a silver frond when it unfolds.
Never heard of that before.
Neither. Madara, Maple, Margantia, Marwa, Meadow, Moss.
Are you hearing any you like?
Maple I kind of like.
Oleander. Parsley. Pepper. Reed if it was a boy, but rue. It's a medicinal herb.
Yeah, that makes me think of the character from Hunger Games.
Oh yeah, that's right.
What did you say, Johara?
I said clementine.
That one's pretty. That one's a fruit, which is kind of different.
Saffron, sage.
Genesta.
Magnolia.
Magnolia.
Valley, Vinca, Viola, Violet.
Oakley.
Wisteria.
Oh, wisteria is really pretty.
Actually, I didn't think about that, so I just saw that one. I'm like, that is kind of nice.
I think I like wisteria. Yeah. It's like mysterious.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go for like plant names that I don't know what I'm trying to convey. That are like enough of like names that you wouldn't immediately associate them with the plant, if that makes sense, but also it's still there. But I don't know, I'm gonna go with wisteria, I think, for now, just to have a placeholder. If I need to change it, I can. So thank you.
Yeah, either a lot of these names like are obvious, like periwinkle, or their names like I'm like, oh, that's a plant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also I don't want to do like the names that like Flora of Florence, which are like, well, that just means flower, because that kind of insinuates language. So which I haven't figured out yet for this story.
I thought Sequoia was another good one too.
Yeah, I like that one.
I like it, kind of. I don't know. I like the tree more than I actually like it as a name, I
There's
guess.
also Sakura, like Sakura, which means cherry blossom.
Girl?
Just saying.
I'm getting hemp coming up. I don't know if that is
Hemp.
like pot.
Yeah.
I don't think I googled the right thing. Maybe I spelled it wrong.
Aurora, autumn, bloom, briar, calla, cassia, clove, cosima, Eden, Faye, Gaia, Goldie, India, Iris, Isla.
I like Briar, and I'm googling Briar, and that looks really pretty.
Lotus, Luna, Marina, Marlowe, Paloma, Pearl, Poppy, Soleil, Tara.
Elowen.
Which one did you say?
Elowen.
Elowen, that's cute. Zella, Vita, Ren. I like that name, but I don't know the character.
Isn't Wren a bird, though?
Well, let me be where I'm at right now. It was on earthy, boho, crunchy, plant-inspired names. How the hell do you put crunchy in there? Like, I want to name my kid after a potato chip. That's also, I don't know if you guys know, this has been like a thing in Australia to name your kid Absidy.
Absidy?
Absidy. ABCDE, Absidy.
Oh, yeah.
So that way they don't have to bother to learn extra things like a name.
Really
and plus
weird.
they'll know their name right off the bat because they know the first 5 letters, so it's perfect. I'm like, no, that's stupid.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. That's like no creativity whatsoever that you couldn't even bother to think of a name.
Yeah, that's just weird. I'm all for like unusual names. Love me some weird names.
Me too, but like that was no creativity. You just went A B C D E.
Yeah.
Like nothing. And apparently it's very popular in Australia to do that.
It doesn't even sound like pretty. Absidy.
Mm-mm.
Sounds like absinthe. Why would
you
want to name your child that?
Right.
Me and my siblings all have unique names.
I know you told me them, and I'm like, damn, like your family has like awesome names. I'm jealous.
Are they all? I know, like, isn't Emerald one of them?
Yeah.
Did I make that up? Okay, Emerald. And Kalel.
Kalel, yeah. There's also Silver.
I was gonna say Silver. That's really pretty.
And Porcelain.
Okay.
My gosh, that is so gorgeous.
Fantasia, and then there's me.
Okay.
Like these like amazing, gorgeous names. Yeah. Like I'm so jealous.
Yeah, my mom actually told me that she was originally going to name me Fantasia.
Yeah.
But my biological father, who she was still with at the time, didn't like that name. And then, so she didn't actually know what to name me until I was born. And when she looked at me, she decided to name me Johara because Johara means jewel in Africa. And I was her first child, so I was like her little jewel.
Oh.
And yeah, but then she was
so sweet.
Yeah, but then when she was in the middle of a divorce with him, when she had Fantasia, so she decided to name her Fantasia because she wanted that to be a child anyway. So
yeah, that's awesome. I love that.
Thanks. I know Lee said her mom almost named her Leilani, right?
Leilani, yeah.
Yeah. Did your parents almost name you something else?
My mom told me that she wanted to name me Penelope. So that almost was my name. Or if I was assigned male at birth, I was going to be named either Steven or Dion.
My brother who's Daniel, would have been Maurice or Bruce. My brother's like, I would have shot myself. No thank
Yeah,
you.
Bruce is not a sexy name.
Neither is Maurice.
Maurice is Maurice is cool at least, it's like unique enough.
I think when I think of Maurice, I think of like kind of like a used car salesman type of guy with like a gold chain on and stuff.
Maurice sounds like he's gonna be a lawyer or something.
Yes.
So at least like he's got that blessing going
Yeah,
for him.
which my brother's Danny. That's him. Yeah. And my sister, who's April, would have been Danielle.
Yeah, I feel like parents do that. It's like, okay, like if it's a boy or a girl, we'll name it this name.
Yeah, like my husband's cousins, like it's Christopher, Christian, Kristen. I'm like, don't you get confused because Chris is the nickname for every one of them?
Yeah, that's like a little too close.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, me and my siblings all have more than one middle name.
Oh, do you guys?
Yeah, me, Fantasia, and Kal-El have 3 middle names, and Emerald, Silver, and Porcelain all have 2 middle names.
Wow.
They got like downgraded to only 2 middle names.
Yeah, right.
What are your middle names, Johar? Do you mind sharing?
Lee, Shalicia, May.
Wow.
So
your mom still went with like unique names.
Harper. Yeah, and they all sound really nice together too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. With our middle name, she named us after relatives or something. Me, actually, I wasn't actually named after any relatives. I was the only one that wasn't. My middle name's Lee comes from her because her middle name is Lee, and then Shalicia and May were her 2 childhood best friends who she still hangs out with now.
That's
cool. So yeah.
That is so sweet.
That's cool.
And then I do want to change my last name to my mom's maiden name, Harper, because that's what I put down in my books, because that's what I want to change them to.
Gotcha.
So you have like your birth father's last name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want his name anymore.
I getcha.
I mean, obviously I got married and I changed my name, but I kind of liked having like the same last name as my brother and sister because it was like, oh, that was like our thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Because as soon as my mom got divorced, she changed her name. She's like, I don't want to have anything to do with that. So, so it was like we had like that was our thing together.
Well, when I get married, I'll probably do what my mom did and hyphen it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
With both of her marriages, she hyphened it,
Okay.
and yeah, she's still legally Harper Curtis, even though her and my dad haven't actually gotten divorced yet, even though they've been separated for years. But they're still pretty close. They were friends first, and they're still pretty good friends now. So it wasn't like one of those messy separations or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like her relationship with my biological father was real messy,
Yeah.
and but with my dad, everything's pretty much all right. So, but they do plan on eventually getting an official divorce once they have enough money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people stay together, just for that fact alone, money.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
How long have you been married?
We've been married. We got married in 2007. We've been together since 1997.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations.
You've been together longer than I've been born. I was born in 1999.
Oh, I was born in 96, so I was a baby. You've been like together for most of my life. There we go.
I mean, we had like a little off period there too, because it was just, it's how relationships go, but worked out.
Yeah, sometimes you
guys are
gotta
happy.
like take a break just to come back stronger. So
that's exactly what it was. So
yeah,
like each time in that time we thought like, oh, we'll get back together. Like, or I thought he was like, no. Then he thought, and I was like, no. And then like there was a point where like we were still roommates living together and leaving that apartment, and I was gonna go live at a friend's house. He was gonna go to his parents' house, and like I spent like 2 nights at my friend's house, and I'm like, I don't want to be without you. Like, this is like, you're like my partner in crime. Like, I can't, like, I felt so sad and lonely, even though I had people around and I could still see him. No, that was it. So,
Nice.
stuck together. And he's like a super chill person, so it's not even like we fight about anything, or our fights are stupid things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's it.
Yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Robin? How long have you been with your girlfriend?
Almost 3 years. Not quite as long as
Oh,
we
but
had.
start somewhere. You know, and if I say that, we actually started going out as a joke because, yeah, it was, I don't even remember. It was just like a joke, and it was just like, oh, why haven't we gone out? And he's like, why would we? And I'm like, oh, hell no, you're not saying that to me. And then we went out, and that was it. Like, it was like, oh, he's cool. Oh, she's cool. And like, we just became like best friends.
History.
Yeah, we just became best friends and just started hanging out all the time, and that was it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's it. That's the best relationships, though, is when you guys are friends, you know? And
yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm still single. I'll probably be single forever.
Oh, I thought you were dating someone.
I was, but it didn't work out.
I'm so sorry. Oh.
Thanks.
It happens.
It's just hard, you know. She lives a while away. We never even met in person, so.
Long distance relationships are hard. I'm currently in one because my girlfriend goes to school in a different city, so we got an hour away. So.
Oh wow, yeah, that's hard.
Tough. Yeah,
and I feel like we were both trying to like make it work because it's like we're both asexual and we're both like afraid to date because you know, sex is like this big thing in the world, and it's like I don't want to deprive anyone from that, but I also refuse to do something that I don't want to do, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like I'm afraid to date so I'm like afraid to date outside of the asexual spectrum, but at the same time, there's only like 1% of the population is even asexual. So I feel like we were both trying to make something out of it that just wasn't there because we wanted to be with another asexual person, if that makes sense.
No, I totally get that.
Can I just ask you something personal? Yeah. So does that mean, and maybe it's different for everybody, I don't know, does that mean like you would never have sex, or you're just not interested in doing it, or like you would do it if the other person wanted to, but you're just not really going to be into it? See, and I mean, I know you're a lesbian, so that adds like another level of technical stuff, maybe, I don't know, to it. So
see, there's this entire asexual spectrum is what they call it, and it's like the only thing every asexual person have in common is that they do not have a sexual drive. But some people, they're just like mad to sex, like they don't care about it either way. Or then there's other people like me who's disgusted by just thinking of it, you know. So me, I would never personally have sex, and you know. And I hate when people like, there's been people who said, how can you know you're a lesbian if you never kissed a guy? And the same thing with asexuals. You know, some people are like, how can you know you're asexual if you never had sex? It's like, I don't need to know that I am asexual and when I don't have sex, because like, I just know that it's not something I like. It's just thinking about it, I don't like it and I don't want to do it. And I'm one of the few people who feel that way. And I feel like many of the asexual people have had sex, but that's mostly because they didn't realize it, especially since asexual, like we haven't really had a name for ourselves that long, you know, like even though we've been around for a long time. It's same with lesbians, you know, we've been around for a long time, but
you get labeled prude or something, and it's not really that. It's just you just don't want to do it. You don't have a desire to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It's hard to explain.
You answered it. I was just curious. I mean, I realized people could be different. I just didn't know if like you didn't care either way, or.
Well, some asexuals are like that, yeah. But the only thing we all have in common is that we do not have a sexual drive. So we never crave it for ourselves or go out looking for it like some people do.
Right.
It's like some people, they had sex over and over again trying to figure out what's wrong with them because they're like, something must be wrong with me. Why can I get turned on or something? And it just,
Well, yeah, I could imagine you would try multiple people because you might be thinking it's just not this person, or I wasn't attracted to this person, so maybe you are trying over and over again with different people. I could see that people would do that just to
figure out what's wrong with them.
Or not even
but
what's
nothing is wrong with them.
Yeah, nothing's wrong with you, but maybe you're thinking not what's wrong with me, but like I wouldn't think that way. I'd be like, oh, they didn't do anything for me. Like I wasn't into them, not necessarily that it's you. But I'm sure if it's you feel a different way about it. It's like you feel that there might be something wrong with you.
Yeah.
There's not. It's just, that's how you are.
Yeah. A while ago when I was first coming to terms with this, I wondered if there was something wrong with me because I'm like, only 1% of the population is asexual, and it's like, and it was very hard to come to terms with it. Worse than when I figured out I was a lesbian, because I never really came out as a lesbian. I just kind of was like, I like girls, not guys. Like, there's no real coming out about it. In fact, most of the people in my life knew that before I did.
So now
my mom knew when I was 5.
I have another question for you. Then I might have more than one question, so I hope you don't mind.
You're fine.
So if you were in a relationship with somebody, would you be opposed to kissing them and being affectionate with them?
See, kissing is different in my opinion. I mean, I don't mind kissing and holding hands and cuddling and stuff. It's just.
So you're affectionate, just not sexual.
Yes, pretty much.
I got that.
I don't even have a dirty mind. Like my mom and best friend are both like have dirty minds and always make little dirty jokes like most people in the world do. And then I'm always like, what? What? I don't get it.
You don't even get it. Right?
No.
It's okay.
I mean, it was my best friend and sister both around the same time made a comment that they thought I was asexual. And then my best friend told me that her sister also thought I was. So I started looking into it a little bit. And I was like, maybe I am. But then my sister recently told me that because there was this whole debacle on my Facebook. I posted, you guys might saw because I posted on Twitter too, but I posted a collage I made of me in the center with the lesbian colors and the asexual colors next to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I posted it on my Facebook page too. And then he's technically my half brother because he's my biological father's son. But because my biological father, before he married my mom, had 2 sons and a daughter. But I didn't grow up with them until recently. I'm starting to get to know them a little bit now, going to see them at Thanksgiving and stuff. But I didn't really grow up with them, so I never considered them siblings,
Right.
Yeah. But one of them started saying, like, how do you know you're asexual if you never done anything, or how do you know you're a lesbian if you never kissed a boy? And he started saying all the stuff, and it was this long debate on my Facebook post that was supposed to be all like, I did it in June, so it was like a Pride Month thing, and it was supposed to be like, I'm a proud asexual lesbian, and then this whole entire thing came, and then a bunch of people saw it and started yelling at him like, you're questioning her sexuality and stuff. And my sister told me she got really mad when she saw that because he was disrespecting me. And she said she tried to ignore it until he kept going on, and then she just couldn't ignore it after that. And it just kept going on and on for the longest time. And I was like, I stopped commenting and just reading all the replies of everything, and it was really annoying. But I had a point to this, but then my mind went blank.
It's okay. You'll get it again.
Oh yeah, and then my sister said, so one of his biggest points in the post was that if you're asexual, then it doesn't have to do anything with girls or guys, so shouldn't you like both? Why can't you like men if you're asexual? He's basically saying if I'm asexual, then I don't care about appearances, and it's about so I shouldn't care about girls or guys, and I should basically be bisexual. That was basically what he was telling me.
Why? That doesn't have anything to do with the other thing.
Yeah.
I have no idea, but he was basically saying if I'm asexual, then I should like both men and women. Or it was more. My mom, when she was reading it, she said he sounded more anti-lesbian than anti-asexual, and he kind of did. But my sister texted me and said she was doing some research for me, and she said that it sounds like I might be homoromantic asexual. Because and I did a little research on that, and it sounds like that might be what I am a little bit more.
That's why I asked about the affection part, because I know that's like another thing.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to call them. Forgive me, another box to check there. I don't know what else to call it right now. I don't know.
That works.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it sounds like I am homoromantic asexual, because I like girls. I know that much. Despite what anyone says, I know that I like girls. It's always been that way. But I also don't care about sex, and it's okay to be both,
Well, you could be attracted to somebody without being sexually attracted to them.
Exactly. But he was saying that if I don't get sexually attracted to anyone, then why am I just into girls and not guys? And I don't know.
What does it matter? You're not going to be with him anyway, so what's the point of arguing that with people?
Right?
I don't even understand, and I mean, I understand it's a big deal for gay people to come out. I don't know why you have to, though, because it's none of anybody else's business, and it's such a small part of your life. I don't feel the need to go around going, I'm straight. Hey, guess what? I'm at my job. It doesn't make me a faster typer. It doesn't make me a faster runner. I don't eat better. None of those things matter. It's just who you're personally in a relationship with, and if it's not that other person, it doesn't matter. You know
exactly.
what I mean? It just doesn't matter. Who cares? Who cares? I don't even know why you have to announce that to anybody. It's nobody's business. If they're not in a relationship with you, it's none of their business who you are in a relationship with.
Yes. Thank you.
I don't know why that's ever been. I mean, I understand why it's a big deal, but it shouldn't be. You shouldn't have to come out to anybody. It shouldn't. I understand it's still like, hey, if you show up with a girl, it's like, what are you doing? But like, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't.
Yeah, my mom said that she read a post and it said,
being emotional for other people. Come on.
Yeah. My mom said a while ago she read a post and it said, I don't want my children to come out to me. I want them to just come over and say, hey, Mom, this is my boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. Yeah. Whether or not they're the same gender as them or not. Yeah. And she's like, that's how she feels. She doesn't. If she doesn't want anyone to come out, I never had to come out to her. My best friend. It seems like everyone knew I was a lesbian before I did. So. Yeah.
I mean, I realize people have to. I know it. Like sometimes it's like such a unaccepting thing, but I don't know why. Like I just don't get why.
Yeah.
Like especially like, and I mean, I know this sounds so wrong, but like coming out to your parents, what does it matter? You weren't gonna have sex with your parents anyway, so what does it matter? They weren't gonna marry you. They're not in a relationship with you. It's a whole different thing. So what does it matter?
True, but I think the point is that sometimes they're afraid that their parents won't accept them.
No, I get that. I completely get it. And I think even from the parents' standpoint, what does it matter? Don't you want your kid to just be happy?
That's what my mom always says. Like, it doesn't matter if your kid is gay, straight, transgender, or bisexual, pansexual, all those things. It doesn't matter, as long as your child is healthy and happy, who cares about all the crap in between?
Well, I think it's so funny, like, because, I hear a lot, and I've always heard my whole life, like, oh, well, if you're gay, like, your parents are going to be devastated because you're not going to have any grandchildren for them. Me, my brother, and my sister are straight. We don't have any kids. We're not planning on having any kids. So that theory's out the window,
Yeah, and I want kids, I know it'll be a little bit harder with me being a lesbian and asexual to boot, but I want kids, and I will find a way to have them. I actually know
adoption and technology are for. You're fine.
Exactly. I actually want to have foster kids and help kids who really need help. That's what I really want to do.
Yeah.
And maybe it'll cost a lot of money. Yeah, maybe it'll take some time to do it. I don't care. I want kids and I want to help people, and I plan on doing that.
Fostering, you get paid to foster.
Yeah, my mom said that. I didn't actually know that for the longest time.
Yeah, we fostered I was 27, my husband was 29, my boyfriend at the time, and we fostered a 16-year-old for like a year, and we got
awesome.
So let's say, she's like 30 now, she was 16 then, and we were getting like over $800 a month for her. I mean, I'm not saying, I do realize some people do it as a cash grab. we didn't. This was like my mom's friend's daughter who had nowhere to go. I would have taken her in for free and figured it out.
Yeah.
But then when I was like, oh, I'm going to get help. This is great, you know?
Yeah. See, I'm not doing it for the cash grab either. For the longest time, I had decided that this is what I want to do long before I even knew you got money for it. And even if I never found out, I'd continue wanting to do this. I don't care about the money. Like, yeah, it'll be helpful to, raise the child, but I don't care about the money. I just, want to help these kids, and I do want to be a mom,
And you can.
Yeah.
You can.
Like, you don't have to be straight and sexual to have kids.
I am, and I don't want any, so
exactly.
That's the point, That's the point. That's the last thing I want. I'm like, ugh, no,
Yeah.
But that's just it. What about you, Robin? Any desire? You don't care. You don't know. Doesn't matter.
I feel like when I was a child, I already knew I didn't want kids.
That was me.
So, yeah. Not
When
likely.
people wanted to play house, I was like, no thanks. Like, let's do something else.
Right, yeah. It
Let's
never
play
interested
library.
me. Yeah. Or like baby dolls never interested
Nope.
me. So
No.
I just always knew that wasn't gonna be a necessity in my life. So
And that's perfectly fine too. You don't, like I was reading something the other day and it was like showing that there was like showing two different, it was like a series of posts on Facebook, and it was like I showed two different types of women on each photo, and it's like one where someone was happy that she was pregnant, the other one, and the other side was someone happy that she's not, and it was basically saying with all like another one who was married with a family, and the other one who was single but still happy without kids, and it was saying that both of these are still women. It doesn't matter if you are married or not, or want kids or not, they're both valid. And I was like, I like that because it's true.
Yeah, I hate like this like pressure that like you gotta have kids or you won't be happy. And it's like, well, why do I have to do what you're telling me to do to find happiness?
That's not going to make you happy.
Exactly. And like you shouldn't just have kids just to have kids. Like I'm just saying, some people are not meant to be parents. Like,
exactly.
So like I don't get people like, oh, you gotta have kids, you gotta have kids. I'm like, do you know me? Like I get so impatient when there's small children around. I don't completely understand kids. Like I don't think I would be a good parent. And like I recognize that in myself. Like I can't long term be around the kid 24/7. Like that's just not me.
Yeah. And I feel like there's a lot of pressure on women no matter what, that you'll change your mind, you'll want to, you still have time, and it's like, but I just already told you the answer is no. So
like no. And so many people in my that I know on Facebook and stuff that who are like getting married, just got married, or having kids, or I know this one high school friend of mine who is pregnant with their second kid. I was like, man, I'm so behind. But then I started thinking, wait a minute, they're all my age. Aren't they going a little fast then? Because I'm only 21, and they're all around my age.
Yeah.
They're all like 20,
oh my god, you're 21? That's so young. I mean, like, I knew you were younger, but, like, saying that, and then, like, you have people your age getting married. Like, people getting married at my age, I'm like, you sure you're not rushing it? Like...
Right.
Yeah, like, I know...
Time.
Yeah, my sister's childhood friend, who would be her age, so she'd be 20, just got married.
Oh
and then
gosh.
I know... And then I have my high school friend I just mentioned who's having her second kid. She'll be my age. She's 21 with her second kid on the way. And I think she's engaged too. I might be wrong about that, but for some reason I think she's engaged as well. And I'm just like, and I was like, at first I was like, am I just that slow? And then I was like, wait, no, they're just that fast. And it's like, it's okay that I don't want a relationship right now, that I'm waiting a little bit longer to have kids, because I want to focus on my career right now, writing books and really getting my name out there. That's what I want to focus on right now. That is my dream.
Mm-hmm.
Well, especially if you're gonna foster kids. Like, girl, you can do that at any age.
At any
you got all the
age,
time in the world. Like, like, don't worry about what other people are doing. Just focus on what you need to do.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we even, like, my husband and I say that too. If we had a house and had the room, like, we would foster again, but we would only want to foster teenagers. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not doing diapers and all that crap, and like you're waiting for your tooth to come out and now you're crying. I don't want to do that. But I would like to help teenagers who are just like at that point of like, they just need that like positive guidance into adulthood, you know, where that's the time that can make or break them depending on what they're going to do in life. Like,
And don't
Yeah.
teenagers have the hardest time being like adopted and placed
Yeah.
because
Yes.
no one, well, I shouldn't say no one wants them, but most people desire the younger kids.
yes, they want a baby and all that. Yeah. So that's,
So
and I
you're
don't. I
really
want the
helping
opposite.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why when I do foster, I think I am going to go a little bit on the older streak to help them, you know, so they have somewhat of a home to grow up in, you know, and even after they become 18 and they're not ready to move out, they can still live with me because they'll be my child at that point, you know, and like, and I also wouldn't mind adopting some handicapped kids because people also don't want to adopt them, you know, and I have handicapped sisters. I know how to deal with that, you know.
Perfect.
And I would like one child that's like genetically mine, but I don't want to go through the pregnancy. And my best friend, the one that was just here, Alyssa, she actually said that if I wanted to like do the whole egg sperm in her thing, that she would carry my baby for me because she didn't like the birth, but she actually liked the pregnancy, which is very unpopular opinion. So she said she would do that.
Yeah, that's a lot of my friend's sister. She like made a career out of that. She got a house out of it. She got a van out of it. She got vacations out of that. She made it a business. She was like, I don't care. She was like, I'll keep pushing other people's kids out and getting stuff out of it. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, works for everybody. Some people love that.
Yeah.
You know?
And I don't mind, you know, doing the whole diaper thing. I mean, I'm the oldest out of 6, and the youngest is 5. So I've done that stuff before. I've done with all of it. I'm the oldest, so I basically helped my mom raise my younger siblings.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've done it all. I could do it all again.
Yeah, there you go. See, and that was like the setup in your life for that. You wanted that.
And I like to hope that will make me a good mom because I helped with my younger siblings.
I think so, definitely.
Just having other siblings is a great way to be able to parent because you understand all of that.
Yeah.
All the things that go along with having a sibling. That my friend who's an only child, he has 2 kids and he just doesn't understand the whole. I'm like, you didn't have to share. You didn't have to hide food. You didn't have your turn with the remote control. Like, there are just so many things that, and even like on the good side, mom and dad are fighting and you guys band together and like you're in one bed together and like you could cry it out or be there for each other. Like, you don't know that, but all of that helps make a good parent, a good sibling, a good friend, a person, everything. It's just, you don't think about it like that, you know? But
yeah. I mean, my siblings, oh my gosh, they fight like cats and dogs. Like, they're always like wanting to watch different things, wanting the TV. They, you know, and it's just, and I just watch them and be like, wow, come on, people. I mean, I was really in close age with Fantasia. She's only a year younger than me. But we are as opposite gets. So, like when she was watching TV, I preferred coloring and stuff. So I don't think we fought as much. We didn't actually fight till we got older and we realized how different we were. But now we're actually really close and stuff. So I think it helps that we don't live together anymore.
There you go.
That definitely helps.
Yeah. Listen, when we were younger and we were fighting, this is the 80s, so why it was acceptable back then, I don't know. But my grandmother would hand each of us a steak knife and tell us, just go kill each other. I don't want to hear you anymore.
Oh my god.
And we would stop and would be like, she's crazy. Here, let's just go our separate ways. But that was like her, like, here, just kill each other. I don't want to hear it. And we were like, why is she being crazy? Why would we stab each other, you know? And I don't know.
I mean, it worked, but like,
right? But yeah, like, what if one was turned around and stabbed the other one?
Yeah.
My mom would just let us fight, be like, figure it out on your own, deal with it.
Well, and I think even fighting, like, you learn from that. Even like as being a kid, going all out aggressive, fighting with your sibling, you learn something from that.
Yeah.
You learn how to cooperate. I mean, you probably learn, okay, let's not take it that far anymore, but like
so many things you don't realize, like just like the negotiation skills that you learn with a sibling that carry you through the rest of your life,
Robin, do you have a sibling?
I have 2 older sisters. My eldest sister is like 16 years older than me, so we didn't grow up together. And then my other, like the middle older sister, I did grow up with. She's only 3 years older than me. So,
oh wow.
Yeah.
Was that like a different parent?
What was that?
Different parent?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Different, same dad, different moms.
Okay. Because I went to school with a girl whose her sibling was 14 years older than her, and it was like the same thing. So, and a lot of girls I went to school with were like 15 girls in my junior year were all pregnant and had kids in 11th grade, and then like either they had like 5 more right then, like over the next few years, or they waited till that kid was about to graduate high school and then was in another relationship and had established themselves a little bit more and had another kid.
My mom's mom, seriously, she was the youngest out of 5. Yeah, she had 4 older siblings, 2 brothers and 2 sisters. And by the time she was born, they were all married, out of the house with kids.
Wow.
She's that much younger than them.
Wow.
So she grew up as an only child, basically.
Yeah.
But now only one of her siblings is even alive. She's dead herself.
Oh wow.
One of her sisters, Pat, is still alive and still kicking it. So
wow.
Yeah. But I was just like, man, that's some age gap to have.
Yeah.
My mom always told me stories of when she was younger, and she said how her mom could be pretty selfish and stuff, and it was always kind of about her. Like when I was younger, and she was babysitting me and Fantasia when my mom was at work. I think this was after she had divorced my biological father, but before she had gotten married with my dad. So she was basically doing everything alone. My grandmother had a glass table, and I guess I was climbing on it, and it shattered on me. And when my mom got home and she told her about that, and my mom was like, "Oh my gosh, is she okay?" She's like, "Who cares about her? She blew up my glass table." I was like, when my mom told me that, I was like, wow. But yeah, she was pretty selfish, and that's because she was spoiled. She was the youngest kid, basically grew up as an only child.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Sounds like my mom.
Only child as well?
Her brother's 10 years older than her. Her sister's 14 years older than her.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was apparently the story I've heard is they were finally able to buy a house, and they had a 2-bedroom house, one for the boy, one for the girl. So I guess they had celebratory sex for buying that house, and oops,
Wow.
And my grandfather was so upset. He's like, "How are we going to be able to afford a kid? I have a mortgage payment now." But
wow.
Yeah, I feel like my mom and my dad are both the youngest in their families, and I feel like they're both very selfish, very demanding in some ways. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My mom is the youngest out of 3, but it wasn't a huge age gap. She has a sister and a brother, and her brother and her do not get along. He isn't even in his own kid's life. My cousin's. He's like a drug addict, I think, and stuff. And then she is close to her sister now. They weren't in the past because they found out that their mom had actually kind of put them against each other several times. But yeah, my aunt is only like 4 years older than my mom, and then I'm not sure about my uncle. But then my dad has one sister who is older than him, I want to say, and but they hate each other, like hate. Apparently, she isn't very nice. I've never actually officially met her because, like I said, they don't get along. But apparently, she isn't very nice because my dad was explaining to me that she's handicapped, and I guess she is angry at the world, so she takes it out on everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's not a stigma. I have a stereotype about you, Robin, that I think about every week. And I just want you to like debunk my stereotype about
what are
you.
your
Right?
Robin theories?
It's just one.
Okay.
And I don't know why I even think this. I have nothing to back it up.
Give me your headcanons.
Are you a vegan?
Everyone thinks that. I'm not.
Do they really?
Yeah, and like whenever like I have
I've
to
never
play that
thought that.
game that's like 2 truths and a lie, I always use that as my lie because everyone thinks that's the
It's
truth.
the truth. I don't know why I think that.
No, I'm not vegan. I might go vegetarian, but
That's it.
yeah, that's about it. I'm not
Okay.
that crazy to go vegan though.
That crazy to go vegan.
Yeah, I shouldn't say crazy. It's just like really strict and like for me sometimes I just gotta eat what I have, so that's kind of why I'm not doing anything dietary. But yeah, I don't know why everyone just makes that assumption.
Every week I'm gonna ask her. What'd you say?
I said you just have something about you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got that.
Yeah.
I never thought that.
I don't know.
I don't know why I've always thought that, and I was like, I'm gonna just ask her. And what's the worst she's gonna say is yes.
Yeah.
You know,
like, what about it?
Right.
You animal killer.
Well, I don't know if you saw, like, before I was eating my string cheese, and I was like, shit, like, what if she sees me eating it right now?
Excuse me? What is that? Is that dairy? How dare you? No. Even then, like if I go vegetarian, it's mostly like I feel like beef is not particularly good for me. It's more of like a diet thing.
Mm-hmm.
So no, it's still eat fish because fish is so good.
Mm-hmm.
What are your feelings on stereotypes?
I try to be open-minded, but also like I feel like when I do make assumptions about people, it's like, well, I've seen this pattern, and these are the pattern I've seen in people I don't like or who behave in a way that can be like dangerous to me. Like usually when I'm stereotyping, it's like, is this person homophobic? Like that is a common theme I am looking for. So yeah, it's more of like a protective thing, but also I feel like it's not fair to always act that way too. But I try not to let it cloud my behavior or how I act with someone. So yeah. I'm not going to be an ass to someone,
right?
But I might be a little bit more guarded around someone if I feel like this person might be a little hateful towards me. So
yeah, like I hate stereotypes like the ones where it's like lesbians have like really short hair and wear manly clothes and and yeah, you sometimes do, but look at you and me. Like we both like girls, but and I have long hair. You do not. You wear t-shirts.
I hate about that is that people, I think particularly men, will be like, she looks like a lesbian, and what they are really saying is that's an unattractive woman.
Yeah,
that's what gets me. Like,
yeah, they use it for that, like that excuse of something.
Yeah, that like she looks like she's a lesbian because she is, for some reason, she's not conventionally attractive, which that burns me. Like,
hey Robin, I have a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
How do you feel about guys hitting on you, or if you feel like a guy's looking at you a weird way?
Okay, so immediately my mind went to there's like a really popular song going around on TikTok called, I think it's like Sleepover or something, and basically the song is about like the main like woman, she sleeps with this guy's girlfriend, and like that pisses me off because that's kind of like, even before I came out, like I've had guys like come up to me and be like, like me and my girlfriend, we'd be interested in a third sometime. That's happened multiple times. That happened with like the first conversation I ever had when I met my friend's boyfriend, and I've hated him ever since. So like as far as, I feel like if a guy finds me attractive, that's fine. I mean, don't get sexual about it. Don't ever tell me that like you find my sexuality attractive, because that's the thing that burns me more, is it being like this isn't about a man's pleasure. This is about my own pleasure. Like I'm doing me, not for your gaze or whatever. That's what pisses me off more. Or if a guy's like, well, I could change that. No, you can't. I've been there, done that. It didn't work. Like,
never mind. Go ahead. Never mind.
no, I think I'm done with my rant.
Yeah, it's like people always say that when someone gives you a compliment, you don't automatically like accept it. You like wanna say no, it's not true or something. But that's not true for me for the most part. Usually I'm pretty good at accepting it. I get all happy that someone actually thinks that. But I only get that way with girls.
I was just about to say but if a guy says it to you, you immediately think that they're thinking sexually instead of like, maybe they just wanted to be like, Johara, you have an amazing smile. No, if I said it, you'd be like, oh, thanks. But if a guy said it, you'd be like, oh my God, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Yes, I get very uncomfortable around guys, and I don't know why, if that's just me or if that's partly because I do prefer girls, but I just get so uncomfortable around most guys. And it's like when a guy does give me a compliment, I always, my mind always goes to, he has other ulterior motives. And I know not all guys are like that, but honestly, most of the guys I've met are like that. So I just do assume that, and I feel bad for assuming that. But with my track history, you gotta understand too. And it's just, so when guys give me compliments, I just get all, just nervous
that's your stereotype for a guy.
Yes.
I definitely felt that way for a good long while, and I think the only thing that changed is that like now I have like guy friends, and so like now I have met men that aren't completely like that, but still sometimes I'll get like a little bit guarded meeting new guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely changed once
friends.
you have close guy friends.
Yeah. See, I've never really had guy friends. I only have one guy friend, but he's different because he's gay.
Yeah.
So, of course, I'm not going to be uncomfortable with him because I know he doesn't have any ulterior motives. He likes guys. But,
yeah. I also just want to say I would find it a complete insult I would never be wanting to do a threesome and then ever ask a lesbian to participate. Like, I just would not.
The
I feel like that would be the biggest insult.
It has always been a big insult, and like the one time like I was at work and there was a coworker that said that to me, and I'm like, that's sexual harassment. This is workplace harassment, actually. Like, this is illegal what you're saying to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the audacity of some men. So like, Johara, it's not unplaced, but also like,
but even as a woman, I wouldn't ask another lesbian to join in with me and a guy. Like,
yeah,
I just wouldn't.
And none of these people I was close enough to either. I feel like especially meeting my one friend's boyfriend, and when he said that, I'm like, dude, this is our first conversation. Like, I don't care if you think you know me because my friend talks about me, but we don't know each other. Like, we're nowhere near close enough for you to have said that. Like,
yeah, no.
I don't know. It was just.
Yeah, I also hate when guys, they think a guy being with another guy is disgusting, but then with two girls, they think it's hot to watch them make out. What? That's disgusting. Why would you think it's hot?
Well, I also I don't understand how it's disgusting. If a guy says it's disgusting that men have anal sex, but you're willing to have anal sex with a girl. So how is that different? Because if that's the thing that makes you gay.
I thought you were talking about pegging for a moment, and I'm like, that is a little gay, but like.
Who, for Johara?
No, I thought you
Oh,
were talking about like, oh, having anal sex with a girl. Like, yeah, she's backing him.
no. No, that's what I'm saying. If a guy,
But I know,
yeah,
yeah,
I'm like, if that's like your whole theory on how a guy is gay, then it's not. So,
right. It's yeah.
Yeah.
I could see, Johara, how uncomfortable you are at even the mention of sex. But
I'm sorry.
You're fine. Yeah. I do get uncomfortable with sexual things.
I don't blame you. I'm sorry. I'm just ordering my food while we're talking here.
You're fine.
No, go ahead.
Because I know my husband's on a live now with one of my coworkers. They're talking about He-Man, Masters of the Universe, or whatever that just came out.
I heard so much shit about that.
I'm like, please just. I said to my coworker, I'm like, Chris, can you please just do a live with him because I don't want to talk about it, please.
Yeah.
He's like, sure, I'll watch it and I'll have a conversation. So they're doing a live right now.
Nice.
Then I know he'll be mad at me and be like, you couldn't order the food. I told you what I wanted. So, anyway, go ahead. I'm listening to you guys. I notice we always get off onto different.
Yeah, we do.
It's fun though.
I agree.
Yeah. You know, we get to talk about other things, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, Jahar, do you ever read books with sex involved in it, or is that just like you'd like to like avoid reading books with sexual content, or even that's just like you strictly won't read books with sexual content?
I won't read books with sexual content. I don't like it.
I only asked because, like, for me, like, writing sex scenes was, like, a huge part of my sexuality, and that's how I knew that, like, I definitely was interested in sex when I was with guys and it wasn't working out, you know? So that's why I was, like, a little curious about, like, your experiences as an asexual person and a writer/reader.
Yeah. I mean, I read a fan fiction once with little sexual content, but that was strictly by accident. I didn't realize that it would be sexual. It's so detailed, and then I was like, and realizing how my discomfort, I was like, how did I not know I was asexual before?
That's a pretty good indicator, yeah.
But then I stopped. I was like, nope, I'm done.
Yeah.
So you had been with men first, and that was how you knew, or?
Yeah, like it's kind of one of those things. Like I didn't always know, but like nothing was ever working out with guys, and like I would have crushes and be interested in guys, and then like when we would start going out, and then when things started like getting more serious, I'd always break it off. It'd always be like we can't go any further with this. Like there's something wrong here. And for a while I just thought like, okay, like, teenage boys suck. Like maybe that's it. And then like in college, like, I was dating in college and I went on a date with like this awesome guy. I thought he was so gorgeous. Like there was literally like nothing wrong about him and it wasn't working out. And then I'm like, okay, like there's something going on here, when it's like I can't think of a single thing wrong with this person and like I should be attracted to him. Like I do find him attractive on a surface level, but like still having that kind of like disconnection. And that's kind of when things started to piece together. And then I ventured out with women a little bit more, and then I'm like, yeah, this is what that was supposed to be like this entire time. And then I look back on my former years and I'm like, yeah, I was like gay this entire time. I used to think it was just like envy when I would see pretty woman, because I'd be like, oh, I want to look like her, like I'm looking at her this way because that's what I want to look like. Right. But it wasn't always like that. So a lot of things just make sense in retrospect,
Yeah.
I mean,
like, go ahead.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like when people, like when my mom would say someone like an actor's hot, I'll be like, he so isn't, and she would be like, but you're a lesbian. It's like I can't be a lesbian and still know when someone's good looking. Like I might not be attracted to him like you are, but I know that he's not good looking.
I definitely still have like a type when it comes to men, but like I just don't ever want to like progress like anything with a man. But like I still like will see a beautiful man and I'm like, oh my gosh, like this guy is gorgeous. I love looking at him, but like there isn't that desire. So I imagine it's the same with you, Jahar. There's probably people that you see and you're like, wow, look at this gorgeous person. Like,
Yeah, but it doesn't have to mean sexual, you know.
no.
Or I hate when I'll say, I don't think that girl is pretty. And it's like, oh, you're just jealous. No, I just don't think I can name you a million other girls I think are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just not her type of thing.
Yeah.
You know.
I totally
and I'm specifically speaking about the Kardashians when I'm saying that, because I always get that, oh, you're just jealous. I'm like, no, I'm really not.
No, I really despise the Kardashians.
Really
so like they're never gonna be attractive to me. Like
no. I said it the other day, I think natural is much prettier.
I remember us talking about that and I was gonna go back and say that like for me, like the like standard, like full beat down makeup look, like perfect long hair. For some reason that is like so boring to me, and like I'll like see girls who have that sort of makeup look and be like, you look so cookie cutter to like every like Instagram person I've ever seen. And like it's just it almost like turns me off kind of, and I don't want to be one of those assholes like, oh, like you should like, you know, take her swimming the first date or something. Like I don't care if a girl likes to wear makeup, but like I don't know, like for some reason, like that's just like is still a turn off when it is that like that specific look that's popular right now, and you know she's only doing it because that's popular. It's like I like it when you're a little bit more of a free thinker, you know.
Yeah, my mom says you should that makeup's meant to only be used lightly because it's supposed to bring out your natural beauty, but then people are using it way too much and it becomes unnatural. Me, I hardly ever wear makeup. The only makeup I ever wear is lipstick, and that's only every so often. But I don't wear any other makeup. Yeah, I've done like the whole thing before when I was first allowed to use makeup. I wanted to try it, and I did it for like a year or two. And then I decided, hey, you know what? I'm not a big makeup person. I'm not one of those like. I also hate the stereotype where girls like get up really early, get all gorgeous every time, and takes forever in the shower. Me, when I don't like getting up early for one, and I also take 10-minute showers because all I do is wash up and get everything clean, and then I only takes me like 5 minutes to get dressed. I don't like those stereotypes where it's like girls take forever to get ready. Like I don't. I brush my hair and go.
That stereotype that pisses me off is like for me when I would wear makeup every day and I look back at that point in my life, I was like, I feel like I was living in a prison of my own insecurity, and I think any woman who feels like she has to do that, like I feel bad for her. Like I feel like she is just like so beaten down by people saying like the only way to be beautiful is to have like a 10-step like morning routine and you gotta look perfect every single moment and you can't just be like that. Just pisses me off. Like no one deserves to feel that way about themselves. So yeah, I try to make makeup be more of an expressive thing for myself, so I don't really do natural shades. I'll do fun colors and you know, try to just like have fun with it. But even then, whenever I film a video, I always feel like I gotta put makeup on beforehand. And like observing that about myself is kind of disturbing too. Like every time like I'm gonna film my wrap up soon and I'm already thinking, okay, what makeup look am I gonna do? Like I feel like I gotta look pretty on camera if anyone's gonna watch this video. And there's something wrong with that. I can recognize
you
that.
already pretty just the way you are.
Thank you. And most of the time I agree too, but still when it comes to filming myself like that, I'm just like I still have that nagging feeling like, oh, I gotta look perfect for this. Like
the only thing that might take me a little bit extra when I get ready is my hair, because I do like to do different things with my hair every so often, you know? So I mean, I have like really long hair, and I don't like to just like leave it alone. I like to do stuff with it and come up with new designs. I came up with this new thing where you might saw a picture of me on Twitter with it. But I like had my a bunch of breadths like here, like having all my hair on like one side, which I never done before. I tried it that way, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I do different styles with my hair. But when it comes to getting dressed, taking showers, I do all that really quick.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. This is a project to just wash once a week. So after
I
that,
love
the
your
most
curly hair though.
thank you. I do too, but it's like it goes up in a cap to sleep in because I don't want to have to do it tomorrow.
Right.
You know, and I'm like, I have my watch on. I'm like, all right, 3 minutes, get dressed. Okay, 3 minutes to brush your teeth, wash your face. Okay, like it's like we're on a time here. I wait till the last moment of the day to like it's like 6 minutes to get my lunch ready, 3 minutes to do this, 3 minutes to do this because now I need to be out the door. I could not imagine getting up at 6 o'clock to put on a bunch of makeup for who? Who cares?
Right. Yeah.
You know, that's why when people are like, "Oh, I do it for me." No, you don't. You do it because you're insecure and society tells you that you should. The standard minimum practice should not be eyelashes out to here that you feel for some reason you need to have on at all times, that you shouldn't leave your house without contouring and highlighting. It's like, no.
And I mean, society's always been down on women. I mean, it's like you're never skinny enough, you're never this, you're not wearing enough makeup, this and that. And they never do that to guys. And it's like, you know, we're pretty just the way we are. We don't need 50 pounds of makeup. I might be exaggerating just a bit, but you get my point. We don't.
No, when you see these women, like they put or girls, whatever, and like they look like me, and then in the end, they look like they're this Spanish girl with this tan all over their face, and they don't even look like the same person anymore. I watched this girl who was like a redhead with like freckles everywhere, and by the time she finished with her makeup, I thought she was like this like Puerto Rican chick, because I'm like, you changed the color of your face, the shape of your face, you did all this stuff. I'm like, you're not even you anymore.
And yeah, you don't need to be pencil thin. That's not healthy, anyways. You know, and I mean, they're just telling us all these things we need to be, and it's like, no, we know what we need to be. You just stop telling us, maybe we can be it.
Yeah, it's a whole beat down.
Most of those like insecurity stuff too, like that's just like companies preying upon like insecurities to make money, and like changing my mindset to that has really helped me kind of try to reject any social pressure, because a lot of it is, if you think about it, like, you know, saying that like women who are fat can't be attractive, that is selling like a weight loss program or like these ridiculous diet teas. There's so much like companies that like thrive off of that, or makeup thrives off of that insecurity that if your skin isn't perfect, if you don't have like the ideal face shape, you need a contour. All of that is just to make money, and like don't put money in someone's pocket who just makes you feel shit about yourself. Like,
but it's also you just saying that it's like people, like women, have to think like this is a scam. This is a business to get me to buy something, to make me feel insecure, so I keep buying something. When you don't need to do any of that, you know.
Yeah.
You wouldn't fall for the like the money market scam, the Beachbody or whatever shakes or whatever. If you're like, I wouldn't fall for that, then why are you falling for that?
Right.
Why are you falling for L'Oreal or whoever? Why are you letting them? And I feel this too. Why am I going to feel insecure when I see some 21-year-old skinny body, tight skin, this and that? That's just not me anymore, and it's not going to be. And if I do get all this stuff done, I'm just going to look like these women that I think look silly because they have no forehead movement, their lips are jammy looking and stuff. And I'm just like, you don't look younger, you just look pathetic.
And or like even those women who like will post on Instagram like, I lost like 50 pounds taking this tea. No, they didn't.
No,
they don't use those products. They're just selling it. Like, and even like makeup, like most of the time, like makeup artists like still have a filter on their face, and it doesn't look exactly like it does on camera. Like, it's not the truth, you know. It's not even the reality. I'm sorry, Johara, what were you saying?
It's fine. You know, actors or people in general who get facelifts. A lot of times you look better before you get that facelift, and we're like, what's the point?
Yeah.
You know, like I saw, okay, Rose McGowan. I don't know if you guys know her. Yeah, she wasn't gorgeous. I never thought she was like super attractive or anything when she was on Charm, but she was relatively pretty. But then when I saw her on Once Upon a Time, and at first it took me a minute to realize that was her because she had a terrible facelift. I was like, you looked so much prettier back then.
Yeah, I just googled what she looks like now.
Even if you look at Kenny Rogers, who was this country singer.
I don't know of him yet. Did he get a facelift?
Oh my! Look, do before and after. It's a completely different person. I'm not even joking. It's a completely different person.
I'm like devastated because he looks so good before.
He was a very attractive looking man. Yes, he was white facial hair, like white facial, but he was very attractive.
That salt and pepper look is so good though.
And it made me so sad that he thought he looked that bad that he needed to do all that stuff.
Oh.
And I remember being at a concert of his with my mom, and they were showing in the background screen, they were showing pictures over the years. People were applauding every time it was the old him. When it was the new one, people weren't even applauding. So, I mean, and that goes to show men too have to deal with that too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This was a man who is very wealthy and didn't really need to be worried about this. So what did you even do that for?
Right.
Have you guys ever listened to Melanie Martinez?
Oh, she sounds familiar.
Why do I know that name?
Melanie.
She's a singer, and I like some of her songs, but she has this one song, Mrs. Potato Head. I mean, she always sings in kind of metaphors.
Oh, I know who she is, yes.
I always kind of thought she sang in like metaphors because like you have to really pay attention to understand the message she's trying to come across. But there's one song, Mrs. Potato Head. If you listen to the song closely and watch the music video, it's basically about this girl who ends up getting a facelift that she didn't even want because her boyfriend wanted her to get it. And then when it didn't come out the way he had hoped, he ended up ditching her for a younger, prettier girl. And in the song, she's like, would you still love her if her face fell apart or something like that? Like, would you still love her if her face didn't stay together? I think that's what she said. And it's like messed up.
That is super
Sometimes
messed
guys do
up.
pressure their girlfriends to do stuff like that because they want them to be prettier. Get them to have a breast, whatever it's called.
Augmentation.
Breast enlargement.
Yeah.
Boob job.
Do that or a facelift, or because they want them to look prettier, and it's like you already look pretty how you are.
Right, but if you turn around and say to them, "I want you to get a bigger penis," it's like, well, don't judge me for my size. It is what it is. And it's like,
right?
Well, it's not big enough. I want more. So, what are we doing?
Some people can be so hypocritical.
Well, the thing
It's
that
like,
I don't
it's okay
understand
for me to tell you this, but you can't tell me that. Sorry, what were you saying?
is like I don't get how like you can love someone and not think they're beautiful. And like I've heard people like say like, like I love my boyfriend, but I don't find him attractive. And I'm like, how? Like I literally find all of my friends, I think they're so beautiful and they are a whole spectrum of appearances. And like I don't understand like like how you can love someone or even say that you love someone and be like, I want you to change for me, like so you can be beautiful. Like how are they not enough the way they are? Like
and it's not even change something about their personality, it's change their looks.
Exactly, yeah, because that's a whole other conversation if it's a personality thing. But as far as appearance goes, like I just don't understand. I can't comprehend loving someone and thinking they're not pretty enough, because to me, if I love you, like I think you're beautiful, like doesn't matter what you look like.
And the most important thing is that they're beautiful on the inside.
Well, that's the thing. It is when I love like a person, like that really shines through, like so I don't know. You don't notice those flaws, or those flaws don't matter anymore once you love someone. So like to me, like that's just bizarre. I can never imagine being in a situation where it's like, I love you, but I want you to have bigger boobs. Like
that
makes sense. Buy a stress ball if you need it. Like, come on.
Would you guys ever change anything about yourself if you could?
Absolutely not. So when I was 14, someone said to me that I would probably get a boob job when I get older because I have a very flat chest. And ever since then, out of spite, I'm like, I'm going to work on this insecurity and I will never get a boob job. So, like, and it worked. Like, sometimes I still don't feel as feminine as I like to, but overall, like, I'm pretty happy with it. Whenever I think about wanting to change that aspect of me, it's always because of how I'm afraid someone else will perceive me. I have no issue with the way I look, you know? It's always the thought of someone thinking like she's not attractive enough or she's not feminine enough. That's when it starts to sink in. So
The only thing I am going to get done is on my eyelids are very droopy right here.
Yeah.
And my mom has that too, but to the point where hers is like in her vision now like that.
Yeah.
So I am going to get that done because I can already, if I like look, I can already see it like in my vision. And I know my mom's saying it already got worse for her. So unlike her, who does not going to do anything proactive about it, she'll just go blind in one eye because she can't see. I'll just go get it taken care of, and insurance should probably take care of that anyway. A lady at my job just got that done, and she was kind of like my mom in the one eye too, and she was like, "It's a miracle." She's like, "I feel like I have my whole eyesight back again."
That's good.
But I don't feel that.
Huh?
I don't feel that's really like too cosmetic. I mean, it is, but it's going to affect my vision, so I'm going to get it done.
Yeah. See, a change like that is different because that's for the better. You can see better and stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no one except my mother has ever said to me, as she calls it, my Bavarian washwoman eyelids. I don't know why it's her thing, but like she's the only person who's ever said it to me, and that's because she has it, so she's insecure about it. But now that I see what she looks like in her bad vision, I'm like, I'm going to get it taken care of.
Yeah.
But that's it. All right, I got to go because I got to go pick up my food right now. I'm so sorry. I've been having a great time with you guys.
I know, right? Yeah. Go ahead and eat.
Thank you guys so much. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right. Take care, Leanne.
You too.
Good to see you.
You too.
Yeah, the only thing, I mean, I'm pretty comfortable with how I look for the most part. I love my hair. It's gotten so long and wavy.
Gorgeous.
And thank you. I love my hair. It's one of my favorite aspects. I know people have complimented me on my eyes because they're really blue. And then my smile, I get really excited. So I end up smiling really big.
Yeah.
Sorry, what'd you say?
You have really straight teeth. Did you ever have braces?
No, never.
I'm so jealous. I've had braces and they're starting to go back again. Like, they just don't want to behave.
But I'm pretty comfortable with how I look for the most part. I'm not even sad that I'm not that tall. Like, I'm okay with being short. I always said, like, in high school when everyone, like, I knew there was this one time when my friend and I, our 6th class was next to each other, so we would always walk, and we had the same 7th class, so we'd always walk there together. And she's a lot taller than me. And then we'd be walking past all the people, and I was so small I could just kind of get in between people, and then I would look back and she's several people back because she's so tall she can't do that. And I was like, you know what, being short isn't that bad. There's advantages,
Yeah.
And if I can't reach something, that's what stepping stools are for.
Exactly.
But the only thing I've ever had issues with was my chest because I don't like it being big, and maybe that's just me. Maybe there's nothing wrong with it, and it's not because I mean, a part of it is because I don't like how I feel like some guys look at me because I have a bigger chest, and I don't like that. That makes me very uncomfortable. But the other part is also just because I don't like it.
No, and the thing is, with like a bigger chest, like you can have back problems from it. Yes. I'm sure you have lots of pain because of it.
Yeah, my back does tend to hurt sometimes, and I've always wondered if it could be because of my breasts.
So honestly, like, I feel like if you wanted to get like a breast reduction, like that's not a cosmetic thing so much. It's more of a health thing for you. And like everyone I've known who has gotten a breast reduction was so much more of a happier person afterwards. And it wasn't like it kind of was, because I know like one person's like, I can't fit into shirts. Like my boobs are just ridiculously big. And like, I'm so happy now that I can fit in shirts. So like, I get that. But like, so like, no judgment if that's what you want from your life. Like I do think like that can be very beneficial and
Yeah.
a health thing too. So yeah.
And my mom says I should get a breast reduction if that'll make me happier.
I think so, yeah. I think it very well could be and would probably.
But at the same time, I'm kind of scared because I've never really had surgery before ever.
I don't care for surgery.
Have you ever had surgery?
I got my wisdom teeth taken out. I was knocked out during that. Like, I don't remember anything about the surgery, but like, I have a thing about like IVs. Those really freak me out because they go specifically in your vein. Something about that is incredibly disturbing to me. Like, it's always like the littlest things that really disturb me. Like, I'm really okay with most horror, but like, then there's like IVs, and I'm like, that's gross.
Yeah. I mean, I've never even broken a bone in my life.
Neither have I, knock on wood.
Really?
There we go. Yeah.
My friend and I in 4th grade, a mutual friend of ours ended up breaking a bone.
Mhm.
And then the two of us were like, okay, you know what? We're going to make a pact. We're never going to break bone. At the end of that year, she broke a bone.
No.
But I still haven't broken a bone, so my pact is on.
Promise. Yes.
But yeah, I've never had surgery or anything, you know. I mean, I don't even remember last time I was at a dentist or a doctor.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never really needed to. I'm trying to get insurance now because I am going to go to the doctor to get my thyroid checked.
Yeah.
Because a few people at my old job said that it might be affecting my heat and stuff because apparently, like this one person who had to get her thyroid completely cut out, or no, half of it cut out, because I think you can only get like half of it cut out, like you need it or something. But she said that I had some symptoms that she had before she got hers half cut out.
Oh.
Like, yeah, like I don't sweat, and that's a symptom of it. And instead, my face gets really red because all the heat just builds up.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That just sounds really uncomfortable. I'm sorry you have to go through that.
Thanks. But I'm really nervous because, like I said, I don't remember last time I was even at a doctor's. So.
Yeah, and I find I have a hard time finding the right doctor. Like, even with like my primary, I'm still like trying to find someone that I really like. So I wish you luck because it is really nerve-wracking, and you want someone that you feel good about too. So
yeah, and especially if I do end up getting a breast reduction, I'm definitely gonna get a woman because I feel uncomfortable around guys as it is, and there's no way I would have a guy doctor for that.
I totally understand. Yeah, I prefer having a woman doctor for that reason. So I get you.
Yeah. So, how's your book coming along?
I finished the last chapter I was working on, and then I've kind of taken a break. I was working on a different short story for a while, because I wanted to write for like a certain submission call, but like they wanted it to be like 15,000 words long, which I thought was just weirdly long for a short story, and I'm like I've never even gotten close to that with any of my short stories, and with the idea I was working with, I'm like, this is not going to make it. Like, this is only going to be a couple thousand words long, because you kind of get an idea. I don't know if you pay attention too much to your word counts. You kind of get an idea of how many words something's going to be, you know? So I stopped working on that because I'm like, I'm not going to submit to this call, and I don't feel like working on this at the moment anyway. And I started working on this current one, which I've been at for a couple of days. And yeah, I'm just trying to like get it out because I have a friend I want to beta it for me, and I want to give him plenty of time to get back to me so I can make revisions before I send it out. And the deadline is the 8th next month, so I've got some time, but like I said, you know, I want to give my friend time to read it and get back to me.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I don't really pay attention to word count that much. I pay attention to chapters, I think, more than anything.
Really?
Yeah. Like a lot of people say how they have a word count for the end of the book, plus whenever they sit down and write, they have a word count how much they want to get done that day, even if they don't end up getting there. I'm like, I don't. I don't have a word count for how much I'm going to write in the book at all. I just write how much I end up writing. Because if you have a certain word count and you don't meet it, then, you know, you end up putting filler things that doesn't need to be in there just to get there. Or if you pass it and you feel like you need to go down and you read it, it's like, all these are kind of important, then what do you do then? You know? And as of having word counts when I sit down and write, sometimes life gets in the way. Sometimes you end up talking to a friend or family member, or you know, breaks for eating, or if something else just gets in the way or whatever. And you know, you can never really. I just feel like you can never really determine how much you're actually going to get done.
I feel like, yeah, when I was doing like, I think it's like the 1700 is the goal for like NaNoWriMo. When I was doing that, I was kind of doing what you were saying, where you're like putting in extra fluff that doesn't even add to the story just to make that 1700 goal. But it worked better when I kind of just decided I'm going to write at least 100 words a day, just so I could like, you know, get some work done each day. If I needed to tap out at 100, I had that excuse. It's just like a paragraph at most. But most of the time I would write much more, and even then it was just kind of just to keep track of how much I was doing and making sure that I was writing every day. So that was a bit more beneficial to me. And I think that's kind of how I learned what like word count length looks like. And also if you're submitting, you need to put the word count with the submission. So that also helps teach me some things about word count.
Oh yeah. I mean, with self-publishing, you don't really need to write down how many words. How many words do you have right now on your current book?
Let me see. The end product ended up being 140 something thousand words. I'm gonna cut out 2 chapters from it though, so it might go down a little bit. But let's see what I have for my finished, or for my rewrites done. I think I'm about halfway done with my rewrites. Where is it? I got too many documents. This one. Oh, I'm not half. Wait, did it not load? It's like only 33,000, so I guess I'm not halfway done. That makes me sad. I'm gonna cry now.
Don't cry.
No, it's coming along. So
that's good.
But yeah, I feel like taking a little bit of a break to write a short story helps. And I know you said that like it helped a bit when you took a break and wrote that other book for a little bit.
Yeah.
And most authors I've like heard from that are like traditionally published, they do exactly that they'll be writing multiple books at once because they're like, okay, my attention span is here right now, so I'm gonna write on this subject. So
I've never done that before. I mean, I've done different fan fictions at the same time before, but never actual books. And right now I'm technically working on 3 because I'm working on the 3rd book of Jasmine Press. I'm also working on Prequel, but they're probably the same series. They're still different books.
Yeah.
And then because usually I don't do that in the same series either, but since this is a prequel, it's a bit different, you know. So it doesn't matter how this book ends. This book can still have its own path, you know. And then I'm also working. I started that other series I told you about with the witches and covens and stuff.
That's awesome. I don't know if I could do 2 books at once, but for me doing like these short stories every now and then, or when I used to write fanfic, I would do that. I would be like, okay, I'm tired of the book. I'm gonna write about something I love.
On this, I have 35,691 words so far.
Nice. And it sounds like you're in like at least the first third of the book is what I'm kind of getting from you.
Yeah.
So you're about a third of the way done. That's the vibe I'm getting. I know you probably have a better idea, but
there's still a lot of yeah, I'd say a third is a good way because I wouldn't say I'm halfway because I just feel like there's just still so much that has to happen. Like, you know, there's a few things Jasmine has to find out, like that Rosemary lied, and she also has to find out something else,
Mhm.
and then there's the big twist I told you at the end, plus the final battle, plus after the battle, like letting you know like how her life turned out and stuff after
Right.
that. Kind of like an epilogue kind of sort of
I
thing.
was just about to ask, is it an epilogue?
I haven't decided if it's actually going to be called epilogue yet, but I guess it'll kind of similar to an epilogue because after the final battle, you'll get to see how her life turned out a little bit, and so that you know that after all the crap Jasmine's been through, she's finally happy. Because
Yeah.
I think the audience deserves to know that. But you follow Jasmine throughout all of this, and all you want to know is that she ends up happy.
Right. That's like that was a big thing for me writing my book is I have like 6 different POVs that I'm writing from. So after like, the main action wraps up, they each get their own chapter where it kind of shows like, this is what happens afterwards that kind of sets them on a direction where they are gonna be happy.
Yeah.
So I kind of try to wrap it up in a way that leaves room for the imagination, but also that like you as a reader would understand like this character is going to be okay. They're doing good. Like so
Yeah, it's
I
like,
really enjoy doing that.
yeah, definitely. It's like after you put your MC or MCs through crap, you just want to see them happy. And the same thing goes for a reader. After going through all this with this character, forming this bond, all you want is them to live their little happy life.
Right.
Because it's
Yeah.
like they deserve it after all the crap they've been through. I mean, I put Jasmine through so much hell. She deserves to live happily.
Hmm. And like what's the point otherwise of reading the book if it doesn't
Right.
end in a way that is satisfying. That's the
Yeah.
thing that bothers me. If it's not a satisfying ending, it doesn't have
Yeah.
to be the most happiest ending. It's just
Yeah. Just
if they are
satisfying.
okay at the end, or if they have shown growth too. That also is something I'm trying to relate in my endings. Is this is how they've changed to be a better person at the end.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I definitely feel that.
Well, it's like 9:30 where I'm at, so I guess I'm gonna call it a night. I'm gonna get in my jammies and I might try to finish the story. We'll see.
Well, have a good night. I'm gonna at least get a little bit more done of this book.
Right, yeah, I
It's
feel like
8:30
I'm
here, so I have a little bit more time.
in a good momentum and like yeah, I've got like another hour so I can write and then I have to read. Is the last thing I do every night is read, so I might try to like finish it
Yeah.
and reread it tomorrow and see if anything's good.
Well, I'm gonna try to get some more done. I'm gonna hopefully I'll get a good chunk done.
Mhm.
I'm hoping, but no promises. We'll see.
Yeah. Alright.
Okay.
It's good hanging out with you.
Yeah, you too. I always love these little chats.
So much fun. Like we get so off topic, but because it's fun, like
And it's just nice to have writing friends, like I've never really been close to people who love to write. The only person would be Alyssa, but I mean she likes to write, but it's not like her favorite thing to do. And she's more into gaming than anything else.
mhm.
And so she's the closest I've ever had to a writing friend, and it's just really nice to really delve into all the writing things with someone.
Right. And you learn so much from talking to
Yeah.
other writers too. So
Definitely.
like
And you
yeah,
can
for
bounce
me.
ideas off each other, help each other when they're stuck. Like you helped me a couple times with those spells and stuff, which is great because I cannot create a spell to save my life.
It's fun because I don't have that stuff going in my writing, so when I can help someone with like a completely different genre, it just like gives me a break from like being stuck in my like own
Yeah.
world for so long. I feel like once I get really trapped in my own like headspace, like things go a little sour, so it's nice to have a little break from that. So yeah,
Yeah.
I've been having fun. If you need help with spells, let me know. I'll come up with fun rhymes all day. Like,
I'll definitely let you know when I need a new spell.
all right. Well, I hope
Well,
you get a
good
little more
night.
reading done and have a good night.
You too. See you later.
Bye.